We live.
What's going on, people? Get everything pulled up.
Oh, we are live. We got a small alligator here with us tonight. Don't know how I acquired that.
It's like something coming from what is it down there in Merle's Inlet, the Lazy Gator gift shop.
How y'all doing? We got stuff to give away.
Yep.
We're gonna give away some limb savers and some one stringer wraps. So let's say pick a number between 1 and 30, and we'll choose a number at the end. We got an update on our giveaway on August 22nd as well. That'll be our 1-year podcast anniversary. So we're going to go live. That's a Saturday at about 6 p.m. that night. Giving away a recurve bow, brand new recurve. We're giving away
a home tinker kit. It's got fletching, serving tools, some string wax, a couple levels, some D-loop.
Oh, Mr. Redmond sent us a whole box of stuff and said, "Here, boys, give this away." So we definitely appreciate that. And then KJ that comes on here, Kenneth James Karowski, is sponsoring a bowstring set giveaway. So we'll give away those 3 prizes: recurve, home tune kit, and a string set for whatever bow you want. And that'll be on August 22nd at 6 p.m. And here shortly, we got 2 bows to go work on. We'll take you in there with us. It's going to be a little loud. There's several people in there still working on strings and stuff. So I figured we'd start it out in here.
What's going on, Travis and Richard and Matt and DLR?
So pick a number tonight between 1 and 30. We're giving away a set of limb savers and a set of green flame-looking one stringer wraps. And we got a Hoyt RX1 I've already started messing with. We're gonna go finish it up. And a Matthews, what is it, a Z7 or Z7 Extreme?
I think it's a Z7.
We're gonna put a string on it, so that should be good. Should be good. I guess.
What a day, what a day.
We'll go ahead and mosey in there. I'm gonna come over here and get this tripod up.
Yeah, where you get the shop.
Yeah. All these Asians running everywhere.
We got White got in on the drawing. Bill.
We'll talk about it.
Jeffrey Abel, Jeffrey Redmond. Bill says, "Hey, let me grab that giveaway stuff and bring it back in here with you."
Whoa. Tell Jackie hey. He might be a little grumpy today.
I'm grumpy every day.
You know. I'm gonna put y'all right there.
I'm consistent.
So I've already put the strings and cables on here. We're gonna loop it, tie in the peak, check the timing and all that, and then tie in his rest and go shoot a piece of paper.
KJ says, "What's up?"
What's up, Kenneth James Karowski? I just told them about you sponsoring a string giveaway, KJ. Appreciate it. We're going to put it in with our big drawing on August 22nd on our 1-year podcast thing.
What's up, Matthew? For y'all that just joined in here in a little bit, choose a number between 1 and 30, and always look back through the comments. Not pick the same number. Got some limb savers. And some green and black flame looking one stringer air wraps. What's up, Muddy Ducks? And Devin, me and him kind of talked about this a little bit, but do you notice the difference when paper tuning between a cheap bow and a high-end bow? Like one is more consistent through paper.
I think most of the higher end bows, you can about set them level and no bullet hole. You know what I mean? Most of them. Some of the cheaper ones you got to do a little more tinkering with, but there's not really a rhyme or reason behind that. For example, we had an El Cheapo bear the other day that we had to shim on and all this stuff. It took a lot more effort than normal. Nothing against bear, but we've had several bears we've had to shim.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but just Gordon, you never know what's going to happen. Tell Muddy Ducks she had a care package sent in.
Oh, no, I didn't. Let me go grab it out of the box. Muddy Ducks, Jeffrey Redmond sent us a care package, and he sent you a whole thing of the glow loop. So we'll get it out to you tomorrow, Monday.
Said he heard you were interested, and he had some. He sent us a whole box of stuff.
He said between 1 and 30, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Went ahead and got the old random dial door up and running. KJ asked, what's shipping time looking like if I were to have you order me a bow fishing reel, rest, and airs kit? He's supposed coming. I'll be down 1st of August.
Probably a week, but let me look in. We got a bunch of companies getting sketchy about not having stuff ready because of all the Corona stuff. So just shoot me a message with which ones. But as far as I know, that should be easy stuff to get.
He says he's got a bow, just need accessories.
What kind of bow did you get? Did you go recurve or compound?
DLR says since a whisker biscuit can magnify hand torque a little bit, what is a basic cheap drop away rest you like? Something for a basic diamond bow, not a higher end bow.
The sink rest is hard to beat.
Yeah, and it's what, $65? That Trophy Ridge sink. It's basically,
Looks about like a QAD.
yeah. And KJ said he got him a Matthews Menace 2.
That'd be a good one.
Yep. I wish we had a sink back here somewhere close. I don't think we got one on the boat nowhere. What's going on, Grover and Brad? For those that's just tuned in, if you pick a number between 1 and 30, as always, go back and make sure you don't pick the same number as somebody else. But we're going to give away some Limb Saver dampeners tonight and a pack of 1-stringer air wraps. And Muddy Ducks is always on top of it. She's got the numbers and names started.
Okay. We'll have to find her some more free stuff.
Yeah.
Second one, PJ.
Better call Guinness Book.
Let that air turn on.
Yeah. KJ, we got a Hoyt RX1 that we already started working on just a little bit, and we're finishing it up. And then we got a Matthews Z7 that we're gonna restring and tune up.
The this one had like blue strings on it. We put flow green. It's pretty much setting everything back up. He's shooting gold tip cut down 340s. I still got I'm gonna let the air turn off because it's over here blowing stuff everywhere, but I'm gonna burn this peep string, check the cam timing, and paper tune it pretty much.
Muddy Duck, it says flow green is awesome, but not as cool as the glow in the dark. Well, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I got a glow in the dark screen.
You should be able to find your boat if you laid it in the woods.
Yeah.
I could see Jackie shooting something like that.
Right.
He likes all this trendy stuff.
Let's keep up with the times.
Couldn't you see slipping out of the woods on public land or something, and somebody be riding through, and all they see is that glow in the dark string from the road or something?
Well,
I can't see what I was
gonna say.
I think it's aliens.
Man, do we have some stories. I wish I could tell y'all, but most of them are from people that found us on YouTube. Can't tell it.
DLRS said, have you ever tried attaching the drop away rest cord to the cable where it splits and goes to each side of the yoke? Would that work, or would it mess up the string?
Is he talking about on here?
Are you talking about running a limb driven or a cable driven rest there, Devin?
I'm guessing you're talking about on these Hoyts like this.
Or the
where that splits at. That's kind of how I got it now. I just got it where it splits.
Okay. And Muddy Duck says she's made glow in the dark tumblers. He said limb driven.
Where it splits. What did he originally say?
All right. Have you tried attaching drop away rest cord to the cable where it splits and goes to each side of the yoke? Would that work, or would that mess up the string?
I hadn't, but I've seen pictures of people that have, so I couldn't tell you, but I guess it works because I've seen them do it. But it would cause some friction. I don't know. It'd be hard to say. But I mean, I've seen other people do it.
He said like on the Bowtech styles, on the yoke cable.
Let's check the timing on this butte.
And KJ, it is hot and humid and sticky down here. What's the weather like up there?
Let's see what we got going on. 65 pound, that's good because it's a 65 pound bow.
It's hard to get in tight with this tripod.
Timing don't look bad at all. Way over there. That don't look bad. Yeah, we might be good to shoot it. Yeah. I need to cut the rest of it.
We got
I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, Muddy Ducks, that's the truth. Matt Lee asked, have you guys tried the G5 Montec broadheads? Yes, we've shot them and have good results with them. And
It's a good solid head.
KJ said it's not bad. It's about 80, but feels like 70.
Maybe we need to move to Vermont.
Well, what's going on, Crappy Master?
Y'all like how I do that? I blow the Corona all over this thing. Just kidding.
We might get banned from YouTube doing
Probably even
something
saying
there.
that word. Probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's go check this rest timing one more time, and then actually I need to fix the piece.
Now, Matt, I do know G5 come out with a new Montec for this year. What's
I haven't messed. It's like a non-vented blade.
Yeah.
I haven't messed with it yet.
it's all solid? What is it? The M3, I think it is,
Yeah.
and it's all just one solid ferrule, no vents in the blades or anything.
Throw a twist and get this peak straight, and then we'll go shoot.
Matthew says it's 95 degrees with 40% humidity.
It's been bad here.
Terrible.
Next week or two, I think it's all gonna be in the. It's probably too far, but we'll see. Mid to high 90s, humidity crazy.
KJ wants to know when we're doing the broadhead testing.
I have no idea.
And then Devin wants us to show him how our safety cord works on the draw
Okay.
board.
I will do it. I figured I put in too many twists. Let's take one back. Oh, safety man. Okay.
Feels weird using that other handle beside that.
Different. Different.
Matt Lee says it's 77 degrees and 81% humidity in Michigan.
Yeah. Here you go.
See you, Jackie. It's nothing fancy. I just figured if this hook were to break, all it is wrap through my main thing up here, not the scale, and I just wrap it around and hook it back in it. And it's still going to be a semi-violent process if this hook breaks, but it's not going to hopefully not hurt the bow or whatever. And we had we got. I mean, I love Last Chance Archery, but the first scale we had from them, they sent a recall, and I was like, immediately discontinue using it. The hooks are breaking. And then the other day, I seen where somebody on Facebook or something, somebody had this second one, and the hook broke on it. So that's when this will catch. Like I say, it probably won't be. It'll still scare everybody to death, but anyway.
Let's see here. KJ, what do y'all think is the next big hit in archery world?
I have no idea. I've been trying to figure that out every year. It'll be something that we hadn't thought about. I don't know if it'll be. There's no telling. I don't think it's really speed anymore.
Nah, I think everybody's getting away from speed. I think everybody's wanting to go comfort now.
I don't know what it'll be. At some point, somebody's going to get back in the speed game and up it. I just don't know who or what, but it seems like for a while now they've hit a barrier of you can only get this much speed with this much brace height and poundage.
DLR said that his goes through the hook. He said, I'm gonna make a new cord. Let's see. Matthew says next 3 days it'll be 100 degrees and we have an archery shoot going on.
That was, I mean, everything was squared and leveled. Like we said earlier, the higher end bows do pretty good, but that's pretty beautiful.
You gonna chrono it while we're back here?
Yeah. I don't even know what draw length we're on. We're on 65 pounds. And this arrow, I hadn't weighed this arrow, but I'm guessing it's around a 400 grain arrow. We'll see what it shoots.
KJ, you were right, but it's already made to come back on the heavy air builds.
Yeah, I got to start advertising on that better than I have, because everybody and their brother, since we mentioned the ranch fairy stuff, and it works, has been wanting heavy arrows. Feels like about a 29 and a half inch draw. 263.
I know y'all probably won't be able to see it with the camera.
263. We'll grab some scissors.
Let's see.
I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Target falls apart.
Devin, like on the ASA when they do the shoot downs and stuff like that is when you really see a lot of it. Foley, they do inside, I think, or they did. One of them they did inside, but what it is if they're holding it off to the side, they normally have got like a a strong wind, and they're trying to block the wind to catch them, you know, the long front bars. And if they're holding it over their sight and everything, they're trying to block the sun. That way it won't have a glare on your lens and your scope. So that's why you see the umbrellas in a lot of the tournaments and stuff like that. And even us, you know, in our little local shoots and the shoots we do here at the shop, you know, if the sun's bright, shining right on you and everything, we'll break out an umbrella just to try to knock that glare off.
Throw 415 grains on that area.
415.
Yeah.
Making sure I ain't missing no questions. Brad Maccabee says, how about a $500 flagship bow?
What did it chrono? 263.
I think it was 263, yeah.
Yeah, I try to give everybody these little papers, or at least show it to them when they come to get their bow done or whatever. But what about a flagship bow?
He said a $500 flagship bow.
Oh, talking about new stuff coming out?
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, but it'd be something.
Yeah, it would be.
I think if the company started hurting for money, you'd see that. Like, who was it? Expedition came out with that cheaper bow that ended up shooting, we thought shot better than the higher end one.
Yeah. Let's see, the Mako, and what was it Mountaineer?
Something like that.
It was something like that.
Hang that some reading reach.
Yep.
Now we're going to restring this Butte. It's the regular original Z7. I think we're going to cut him some arrows. He's got a ripcord, spot hog sight, or no, that's a HHA sight. And I can't even remember what color string we got him, but we'll figure it out in a second. It's original string. It don't look bad, but it's definitely time to change it.
I think you went back with the original color.
Okay. Let's see if I can get y'all over here. Do what?
There's Miss Jable.
What do we put? We setting up with outlaws, you said?
Yeah, 300 spine outlaws. Oh man, Muddy Duck asked, did anyone else buy a bow with their stimulus money? And KJ's asked, how's the little ones doing?
Good.
Growing too fast. Maybe we should have bought us a couple bows with our stimulus money. I know. That's the only bad thing about it is we hardly ever get to pick up a bow anymore.
Bartane's trying to sell all his because we.
Yeah, we quit.
He said you got to work at a bow shop. You'll never get to shoot again.
Muddy Duck said her man bought the VXR 31 and a half.
I'm betting that's probably that. I don't know if that one or the 28, but that's probably the most popular bow this year.
Mm-hmm.
One of those VXRs. I don't know.
I'd like to see him kind of go back to a 33-inch axle bow myself. There's a set back here at my station in front of that printer, I think, or somewhere right there. Eric says he's looking at possibly a verdicts in the future.
Yeah.
Now
I've seen some good deals on the verdicts and the tracks and all that. The used, of course.
Yeah, the verdicts, that was a 31 and a half, or a 33-inch axle, wasn't it?
No, the Traverse was.
The Traverse, okay.
The verdicts. How long was the verdicts? Anybody know? I can't remember.
I can't either right off. Was it maybe 30, 31, maybe? $30 inches.
Okay. The track was 28.
Yeah. Little snug fit. Eric says if he could get broadheads to line up out of the XT, he'd be happy. What broadheads are you shooting, Eric? older thunderheads.
Oh yeah. I've thought about, actually for a couple of years now, you give it just about a half turn, yeah. Taking some older thunderheads and building like a real heavy aluminum era, some big old 2413, whatever, something, or 22, something thick, 17, old school thunderhead, heavy aluminum fixed blade, old school, and go slay a deer with it just to do it again, or something like that.
Well, I can't remember the last time I shot a thunderhead.
It's been years since I have, but I shot them. I guess it would have been late '90s, early. Yeah, it was probably late '90s.
I was gonna
I
say.
shot them for a good while. Them and muzzies. I shot a lot of muzzies back then. It was hard to beat a tough old muzzy, but sometimes they would fly a little funky. And back then, what I figured out was that trocar tip had a real coarse thread where it screwed on, and that's what sometimes it wouldn't be perfectly true. And then I shot the interlocks because it was like a muzzy, but it had a better trocar screw-on thing. And then I think I went to Grim Reapers after that.
Let's see. KJ said, "Can I go back to aluminum Eric?"
Oh yeah.
And Eric said, he said, "I'll run you one by after work one day here soon. I work just up the road from the shop."
Okay.
Dean says he still likes his 2315. And there's another guy, he shipped us a bow, Eddie Crouch.
Yeah.
He's still shooting aluminum airs. He said that.
That's right. That's right.
He said that he loves them.
Looks pretty close. Check our timing hole before I even take it out of the tree. Pretty dang close the way it sits. We on. We'll loop it and check our cam, our idler lean, and do all our normal stuff and go from there. Did you see a 3/16 laying anywhere?
I'm gonna lift up. I think is that it right there?
I think so.
KJ says shooting FMJs now, but it's just not the same.
No, I agree.
I could.
I think if that could be the next thing, we could start it.
Oh Lord.
We could, start pushing aluminum airs again and see if anybody follows suit.
He said he blew 2 of them up about 6 months ago shooting into a 3D target.
QAD wrench, where you at?
It was about.
There's one right there.
I was gonna say it's 4 or 5 of them up there.
Of course, it don't see it. What about a 8? Here it is, right in front of me. I got it.
There used to be one. They said it wasn't the target. Guess he caught old air inserts or something.
It'll happen.
And Eric, string cable set for Switchback XT is 115.
Yeah. Installed.
Yep, and that's us putting it on and everything. Maybe it gets closer to hunting season. We need to break out our hunting rigs and show them what we gonna hunt with this year.
If we could get something on camera of us shooting it like a hog or a deer or whatever, I'd carry some stuff, but I just know how hard it is to try to film and hunt. But we'll see. You never know. We might try it a couple times, see if it works out.
I don't know, but I'm about ready for some food and a bed to go to sleep.
So what I'm doing, I know I hadn't been talking much. Y'all, if you've watched my videos before, you know what I'm doing. But I tie my little inner knot points. Goes inside the loop. Does a couple different things. One, it gives you a good reference if you ever needed to change your loop out. But the main thing it does is it keeps a little bit of a gap between that loop so that it don't pinch those knots together. And you ever seen a bow with the arrow will pick up off the rest when somebody pulls it back? That's what we're preventing by doing this.
I think we had that happen on one on the live feed the other week.
I think we did. Somebody's without all this on there.
Yeah. No, I think we did put the knot ties in it. I can't remember which one it was. Walk over here. For those that's just joined in and everything, picking number between 1 and 30, giving away some limb savers, dampeners tonight, and a pack of 1-stringer arrow wraps.
Get our loop on there, peep tied in, and then check our idler lean over there on the draw board, get this rest cord set and tied in, and then we got to cut arrows on this one.
Gauge, all you got to do is just pick a number between 1 and 30, and we'll draw two numbers at the end of our video to give them away. That session, the old string, it didn't have the peak tied in. Okay. So I just tied around it and put it back pretty much where it's at. All right. So when he picks it up, you can do whatever you want to do. And it ain't coming out. Yeah, I'll get him to draw it back and make sure everything's right and tied in. KJ asked what we having for dinner. I'm having tacos when I get to the house. Dawn is picking us up a pizza from that guy's pizza place that's got all them wild pizzas. And it's supposed to return at 8 p.m. So that's what I'm doing. They got a barbecue ranch pizza, and they do their own barbecue there, and it's got a real smoky flavor. I like it. I carried TJ up there. Oh yeah, it's good. I can't remember. I got one half and half that time, and I had the barbecue, and then they got like a chicken finger pizza. It's got like honey mustard and little pieces of chicken finger. I think that might have been the one I had. Bird dog pizza, I think is what they called it. They got all kind of stuff. Daniel Schultz asked, "How's everything down in South Carolina? Getting back to normal?" No, Lord, we're going backwards again. A bunch of businesses just announced you got to wear a mask to come in, which is fine. I mean, I ain't got nothing against it. And they're trying to figure out what to do with the schools down here. The governor announced he'd like to get them open, I think, but they pretty much said they'd like to do whatever the parents are comfortable with. And then some people are saying they're going, according to the rates of COVID, it'll be hybrid or it'll be home. Who knows? The last thing we got from Abbeville County School District for Squirt was, this was before McMaster had his little conference the other day, but said that depending on how DHEC had our rating or what, if it was low, moderate, or high, if it was low, then they would go back pretty much like they always did. Moderate, they would do an alternating day schedule, and the parents had the choice to let them e-learn. And then if it's a high risk, then it's just strictly e-learning. And then Government McMaster said that they pushed the opening, the start of school back to September the 8th. Hold that for a second. I'm gonna walk over here and burn this. All right. Yeah, Scott, I think that's what everybody's doing, is just they're going to push it back. So, I mean, my little boy is 4. He'll be 5 in October, and he was going to a little preschool when all this stuff started, and it's just, they that age, they need to be around other kids and everything. So I really hope they do get to go back to school.
over here and see what this thing's doing on the draw board.
Is there any reason to buy a single cam? Gage asked, is there any reason to buy a single cam over a 2-cam bow?
I don't know. I mean, I could argue either way, to be honest with you. You know, the whole marketing behind the single cam was you don't have to worry about cams going at a time and all that, which is good. Somewhere right there in the middle of that side of that thing. Ooh, I need to put a couple twists in the red. You do still kind of have to worry about keeping the cam in an optimum rotation, even though if it gets out of whack, it'll still semi-be okay. But I think why everybody's sort of moving away from a solo cam lately is you can't get the speed out of them. You can a 2-cam type setup or a hybrid cam or whatever you want to call it, binary system, hybrid system. I like the solo cam stuff, but
That was basically all we shot for years.
yeah. You still see a lot of mid to entry level bows running solo cam stuff because they're so easy to deal with. You know, you can move one module on one cam and it changes the draw length. But as far as high end stuff, that went away several years back.
JJ said they're going to homeschool if it's not back to 80% normalcy. But I agree. I mean, most everybody's saying with the schools that the kids need to be back in school. I agree with that. I mean, that way. But I was one of those that I hated school. I wish, I mean, you know, if something like this would have happened back in the day, I'd been happy. I'd rather work than.
Me too.
But, you know, it is what it is. But we also didn't have the internet like it is now.
Yeah.
And no smartphones and
We had to take a packet home.
yeah. Stay 100%.
So it hit 72 pounds. I'm happy. Axle to axle and all that looked good. The little window, I'll show it to you where you check the cam rotation with the cam looked good. I'm just checking this idler. I want to get this idler perfectly straight with that bottom cam using this spot hog laser. And it's hard to do with all this junk in the way. I'm on the very outside edge of the limb pretty much. And I'm on the outside edge of the limb there. So whatever I just did fixed it. I put about a twist and a half in the reds, what it bounded to. I'm gonna get this drop away cord set. I'm gonna tie that in and then we'll shoot it.
Oh, we got to cut ours too.
Oh, yeah, we gotta chop. I might hang on and I'll pull it back. You can mark an arrow while I tie this in.
Yeah.
Or if it don't matter, we can do them separate or together, whatever.
I mean, I can go ahead and get one chopped off. That way we can shoot it through it.
So what we normally do here is just put an arrow in it, mark it around the front of the riser, we've talked about this before, but like this is a good boat to talk about it on. You could cut this thing off at the back of the riser. You know what I mean? That's probably what, 2 inches. But we don't really know what broadhead he's going to shoot, so we'll end up marking it at the front just to be safe. Keep everything kind of semi-forward of his hand. See if we can shoot the wall real quick.
Yeah. All right. Chop that off. Let's see what all we got. Dean says, as an old guy in my 60s, he finds the single cam easier on the shoulders.
I could definitely see that.
And Scott asked, don't you get more serving separations with a single cam due to how the angle of the cam at the rollover? Where the
Not necessarily, because you take like a Bowtech.
box.
Bowtech is synonymous with having a hard rollover cam that'll separate serving. Now there are some solo cams that are worse than others, just like with 2-cam stuff. Before we went live somewhere, I restrung a Obsession bow, and it's a 2-cam, and it's a fairly speedy bow. They don't hardly ever separate, but there's a lot of Bowtechs that have that hard flip over. Right there where you're getting your let off from. In the Matthews world, for whatever reason, the Switchback XT gave a lot of people trouble trying to keep the serving from separating.
Even the original Switchback.
Yeah. So I'm just going to serve above this string real quick, but and then there's a diamond bow that we see a lot of trouble with. I can't remember. I think it's the
Outlaw, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the Outlaw. It is real sharp dump over, but not all of them are that way. I mean, we've a lot of different PSE ones we sold years back. Never had any trouble out of. But that was one of the things when Matthews came out with that monster bow, and I know they have sold a lot. Now they don't really call it a monster. It's just their, all their bows would be considered a monster bow. The Halons and the Trixes and Vertixes and VXR, just that system, that 5-piece system. And I know why they went to it. They had to get speed, and they wanted it to shoot smooth and all that, which is fine. But they had hammered and hammered, solo cam, and then they came out with that, and I was like, wait. Y'all have brainwashed me into this solo cam stuff for the last 15 years or however long. And it took me a while to kind of not be angry with them, to be honest with you. I had shot them. I wasn't shooting them when the monster came out, but had shot them for a good while and always had a good relationship with them.
Muddy Duck says passion too.
So I put that serving above that cord. And now I'm gonna cut that off, burn it, check the rest time, and one more time.
Daniel Schultz asked, so I'm wondering, are there any tricks to give a 2-cam bow like a Vertix to get a wider valley at full draw?
Some there is, some there's not. The Vertix is going to be a harder one, but if you got one with a stop on it, like with the PSEs, for example, we would take those and let's say we'd set the module on 29. But we'd set the draw stop on 29.5, and that would give it a nice floaty wall, or valley, excuse me. But for example, if you got a bow that don't have a stop that you can just pop out and move to the next hole, you can't really do it on. So that kind of kills that. But you could do it on a Hoyt, a PSC, a bunch of different bows. I'll just run over here real quick, make sure this is
all right. Again, if you just joined in, We're gonna be giving away some 1-stringer air wraps tonight and some limb saver limb dampeners. So pick a number between 1 and 30, and Muddy Ducks, if you pick a number that's already taken, she'll let you know real quick.
So here's what I was talking about earlier before I forget about what I'm trying to, on like this particular bow, it's got that hole, and you put, if that cable's in the center of that hole, that's supposed to be the optimum cam rotation spot. So that's, I always start there. I usually leave it there. Older Matthews had different holes you could run an arrow down, and it was supposed to run parallel with the string and all that, but that's a good starting spot. Usually you get that there, you know, you get your axle, your brace height right, your poundage right, you got a slick setup ready to roll.
KJ, probably right now, if I
weigh this, can you tote that too or no?
Yeah, I can grab it. All right. Probably the two that's out there for me right now is as far as my hunting bows. I really like the CT5 from last year and the Black 5 from this year. That's probably my two favorite, and being a little bit longer on the draw, because mine's a 31-inch draw, so having a bow that will go to that draw length is pretty good. I know there's some other ones out there. Matthew, yeah, I had the original switchback before the XT, and I kind of wish I would have never sold that bow. Probably, I mean, it's just hard to pick a bow. As out right now would probably be, you know, either the CT5 or Black 5, but of all time of the bows I've had through the past, probably the Matthew switchback would probably be one of my up there in the top three.
We got a 430 grain arrow, Black Eagle Outlaw, 300 spine, 30-inch draw bow, 72 pounds. I'm gonna fire it through the paper, see what happens, and then we'll chronograph it and then go from there. Make a long draw for me. That tore bad.
Yes, it did.
Definitely got fletching contact.
I wonder if that rest ain't coming down.
That's what I'm thinking. It's time. I want to pull that cord. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Stand by.
Just let y'all see that we do have bad days in the shop also. That was the air that he just shot. As you can see, it did not go as planned. But let's see. Yeah, KJ, that little Bear Divergent that you got, that you borrowed from Jeremy, that was a good shooting little bow. I shot it myself, but me and the peep angle didn't get along too well. The Z7 Extremes, we see a lot of those still come in the shop, and get, you know, strings get ordered for those. The DXT, I didn't have one because I was still shooting my switchback at that point in time, but I had shot it. And, you know, it's one of those on the VXR 31.5s, they do shoot good. Let's see. I hadn't been looking much to see if there's been any Z7s
Here's what I did.
online.
That arrow, okay? Is that a scratch or is that a bad spot?
center spine. I don't know.
Cut one more just to be safe. I've seen that.
Yeah.
That knot was pulled out a little bit. It's kind of weird.
I wonder if it hit the paper tuner.
No, I don't think. The Z7 Extreme, which was the little 28-inch bow that came out, I think, a year after this one. I think, if I remember right, talking to them, they said that was their best-selling bow of all time at that point. What was that, 2011? And then they came out with the Creed XS. Pretty much, I think they kind of, I mean, Matthews bows always sell a lot of bows, but I think the next big bow, but it would have been what? I'm trying to think. Z7 Extreme. I mean, the Creed wasn't a bad year. I think the Creed XS was not that big for them. The Monsters did okay, like when the original Monster 6s and 7s came out. And then I know the Triax did real well.
Daniel Schultz says Halon and Muddy Duck said helium.
Yeah, I forgot about the helium. Yeah, that's right, because it was a helium, then the Creed. That's right. Then the Creed XS. All right. Should have let you shoot this big long thing.
That's getting a little better.
Bit of left tear. Here, you shoot it. It's so long, I'm probably torquing the crap out of it. You want this relation on a different one?
Alright, yours is fine. Now we're going to try to see if we don't get a low tear out of it.
Let's see what happens here. That's the same thing I got. A little left. You gotta pull the cord on it. I've nothing against ripcord, but like that rest, there's like a ringing in that rest after we shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for giggles, try this. I still heard it, but
I'm still hearing that ring.
still a little bit left. We need, maybe one of these will fit it. Heck no.
JJ says his ripcord does the same thing.
Oh, really? I'm gonna just play, shoot one more time. I shortened the cord up, or I pushed it down just barely. I'm just curious to see if that gives us any different. I never had any trouble per se out of the rip cords, but when we pretty much had them and QADs side by side, and we'd sell QADs like 5-to-1 on the rip cord. So I think, I don't know if we can got any rip cords left. Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know if we might have had too much room on her.
What did that do? Still a little bit left. I'm gonna get a wrench.
But it cleaned up a little bit.
Pull it back one more time. I want to show them something. I'm gonna try to. I don't know.
We're still getting some contact somewhere on the look at red fletching.
Mm-hmm. Put it up and see what happens. That's weird. All right, keep your finger back behind that trigger. TJ noticed, I'm gonna take this up here. I always make those loops with a little bit of play in them, you know, at rest. I'm gonna put my hand in here, but at full draw, that sort of pinches together because you got such an angle, and we got no play whatsoever. I know people have asked about that before. I guess fire it off if you want to.
That was me on that one.
We're getting sort of a
That last shot was me.
funky left tear that looks like something like a fletching's hitting, but I have shortened that thing cord up 2 times. Put that back in there.
We're getting some weird. I got inflections is kind of.
I know it. You can tell it's sitting there. I'm gonna push this way down. See if that does anything. If it don't, be more tinkering. Most of the time, the good thing with these Matthews, in particular solo cam bows, is you do put everything down the middle like we did, and you almost always get a bullet hole. That's why we got something. I don't really want to go start moving the rest left and right because I feel like it's a contact issue. It's still a little left. It cleaned up a little bit. What we'll probably end up doing is sliding our whole knot down because that cleaned up a bit from what it was, and then play with it from there. But for the night, I think I'm done playing with it.
Yeah.
Bring our stuff in here and we'll tell them about our giveaway and do that.
Alright, I'll do it.
And then my main reason for wanting to go is Dom just texted me and said the pizza's ready. I gotta be honest. Oh, I'll bring everybody back in here. What we'll probably end up doing with that bow shortly is, or shortly tomorrow, I'll shorten that cord up a little more, push it down, whatever I need to do. And then if I get a bow to where I really feel like there's rest problems, you know, I'll like throw a whisker biscuit on it. And if it'll bullet hole the whisker biscuit, all right, it's definitely the rest. And then I'll take the rest from one extreme to the other. And then if that don't get it out, we start changing the rest. But I was trying to bring up this on here, this comment. There we go.
Let's see here. Daniel Schultz asks, are they shims on solo cam axles? He can't remember.
Not on the Matthews like this. There's not. It's just a ball bearing and it just slides straight in there. No shim. So there's not. And it's a solid limb. There's not a lot you can do as far as that. One thing you can do is with that top one, you know, mess with that yoke a little bit. And that'd be another thing. If we wasn't having contact issues that we think we're having, usually whichever way that air is kicking, so like it's kicking tail left, I'd put about a half twist in the left side of that yoke, and you'd be surprised how quick that'll clean it up.
Daniel said, what about bear shaft?
We've had people recently wanting to do the Ranch Ferry thing, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it involves some bear shaft stuff. We've been doing that. On a typical guy drops off a bow tune, unless he asks for it. And if he asks for it, that's fine. We'll do kind of what we do on our normal thing. We'll get everything level, get the cams timed right, get the lean out of them, and then get it bullet hole through paper. And then usually they'll come back in, fire it off to verify what we've done. But we also have a lot of people that, like, you can always kind of tell if it's a guy that don't hunt much or don't shoot much or whatever. You got to be careful letting him paper tune because he'll come in here and have that thing torqued all over, and then you got to work with him more on form than you do on the bow, worrying about the bow. So we'll get it close or perfect, whatever you want to call it, and then let them shoot it. But and then we'll have people ship them in, and we'll just get them perfect to us, and then usually nobody has any trouble. 99% of the people that come in and pick one up, well, if we get it to bullet hole or whatever, they'll get it to bullet hole. There's a couple instances where there's a real grip sensitive bow, and you gotta kind of really finagle with it for them in particular, but luckily there's not that many out there.
Yeah.
We're gonna draw real quick. If you hadn't picked a number, pick a number between 1 and 30, we're giving away a set of limb savers and a pack of one stringer arrow wraps. We'll give y'all a couple minutes to do that. Muddy Ducks is keeping track of our numbers tonight. Thank you, Muddy Ducks.
Daniel said he meant if you thought you had a fletching.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea, to be honest with you. Tomorrow that might be something we try. It's just weird because usually you get a little bit of fletching problems and you can play with that cord and get it out of it. But I've slid that cord a lot and it still looked funky, so I don't know. I'll have to tinker. Open numbers are 1, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 30. We'll give y'all just another minute or so, and then we'll start drawing. Afterwards, if we don't have your address, you know, if you hadn't won something before or whatever, send me an email to archeryshack@gmail.com. Just say, hey, I won, whatever. Give me, you know, your name, your address, and all that, and we'll stick it in the mail and get it headed to you.
Mm-hmm.
I need to staple those to the wall. Several years ago, the Major League Bow Hunters, they were pushing these things, and they gave me a packet, some show, and had signed it. And I meant to staple them in there to the wall. There's Muddy Duck's glow loop. All right, I guess we're good on numbers, so let's let them. I can do it on here if you want me to.
It don't matter.
Random.org.
What you gonna give away first?
Let's do the limb savers first.
All right.
All right, 1 and 30. Generate. Number 20. Number 20. Oh, nobody's got 20, I don't think. Because she said 1, 20, 24. We'll give it a minute just to make sure. Has anybody got 20? I don't think they do.
No, neither.
But I'm going to wait just a minute to make sure.
Muddy Duck says she's excited. I won't have to be jealous anymore.
Going for another one. Number 1.
Nope.
Number 1. Who's got... Oh, I guess nobody's got number 1 either. Lord, how do we always end up picking these?
I don't know. It's weird.
She gave us a second note. Number 8. Number 8. Somebody's got it. I'm going to scroll back for 2 seconds. Number 8, you have won some limb savers. Daniel Schultz, you are number 8. Congratulations, my friend. Now we'll go for these wraps. They are a green and black flame looking color. Generate number. Come on and generate. Number 18. Number 18.
Grover.
Grover.
I believe that's right. Unless he had to pick a number. I just having to scroll by it. No Muddy Ducks, correct me if I'm wrong. Yep.
Boom, yeah. Congratulations, y'all. Got some cool stuff. Let's see, we'll be doing a podcast again. I don't know if we'll end up recording it or going live. We'll see how the weekend goes. I prefer to pre-record them because I can make the quality better, like on the video. But, you know, if we're crazy backed up, we'll just jump on live again on Tuesday evening. So it'll be one or the other. It'll either come out the morning or it'll come out, we'll go live that evening.
Yeah.
And, but shoot, we appreciate y'all coming on. If you need anything, give us a holler. It's getting into that crazy busy season, but so if you send us a message or something and don't respond like immediately, don't hold it against us. But
yeah, I think who was it? I think it was Brad Adams. I think it was like 10:30 one night, and I was answering emails to him.
And that's fine.
Oh yeah,
send them on. But don't forget August the 22nd. We're doing like a 3 thing, at least a 3 thing. We'll probably have more stuff by then. We're giving away a recurve bow, a home tuning kit, and a bowstring set. That'll be at 6 p.m. live on August 22nd. That's a Saturday. That's our 1-year podcast anniversary thing. And then we'll see what else we can come up with for that. and we'll probably come on, talk for 30 minutes, kind of share it around the link and all that, and get some people on. And
next thing we got to work on is how we're going to do it. If we're going to do numbers or if we're going to give them a.
I don't know what we're going to do. We might have to get Muddy Ducks really involved in that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could put like actual names into a generator. We'll figure out something. We'll do something. Well, thank y'all.
Yep.
Y'all have a good night, and I'm gonna go eat some pizza.
I'm gonna try to get Bubba off the machine where I go home.
TJ's brother started helping us. That joker wants to work late. TJ's like, we gotta go. But anyway, we'll introduce y'all to him one evening. But
Yeah.
y'all have a good one. Stay healthy and safe.
Y'all take it easy.